And now here's Ted with his review of the Mercury Tracer.
Until recently, the vast majority of trade between Japan and North America has always flowed from east to west. With cars like the new Mercury Tracer, things may be changing.
Ford and Mazda co-build the new Mercury Tracer and will be selling it domestically and on the Japanese market. According to Ford, the new Tracer is styled in the tourist heritage, that is, better aerodynamics, rounder lines, and as many flush-fitting surfaces as possible. The old model, which was based on the Mazda 323, was pleasant enough to look at, but the new version is even better. It'll be offered as a four-door sedan and four-door station wagon. Our four-door notchback was equipped with a 1.9-liter single overhead cam four-cylinder, but a 1.8-liter twin cam is also available. Horsepower output is 88 at 4,400 RPM. Fuel economy is in the 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers neighborhood, or 32 miles per gallon during city driving. This is the same engine found in the new Ford Escort, by the way. Ford has added an extra engine mount, which makes the drivetrain a lot less rambunctious than it used to be. Transmission choices are the usual: 5-speed manual, 4-speed automatic. We got the automatic, and price for our test car is $13,800. Like the new Escort, the Tracer is considerably more refined than its predecessor. Ford stylists were responsible for the interior and exterior of the car, but the head of the small car design department is Japanese, and it shows. To make it even more of an international effort, the Tracer is built at Hermosillo, Mexico. Because of increased body stiffness, the Tracer feels much more solid than before and is easily on a par with anything comparable coming out of Japan. I did find the front bucket seats to be a little uncomfortable during prolonged driving, and more storage and stowage space inside the car would have been nice. I was also underwhelmed with the brakes on my test car. In addition to being extremely soft and spongy, they seem to take longer to stop the car than they should have. And road noise, always a problem with cars in this market segment, is obtrusive at any speeds over 50 kilometers an hour. On the other hand, back seat room is very good, and the trunk is a good size, even if it does contain the inevitable mini spare. And I'm glad to see that Ford has gone over completely to Japanese-style controls. The dash-mounted pull switch for headlights is gone forever, and not a moment too soon. Some other innovations in the new Tracer include a plastic fuel tank, improved corrosion resistance, stainless steel exhaust system, inductive ignition, which means it doesn't have a distributor, and a completely new heating and ventilation system. Ford has big hopes for the Tracer. The company is counting on it to both satisfy the U.S. mandated corporate average fuel economy, which specifies that they must average so many miles per gallon over their entire car sales for the 90s, and to establish it worldwide as a builder of quality economy cars. As you might expect, this is a fiercely contested market. The new Tracer will be going head-to-head against the likes of the Ford Escort, Toyota Tercel, Mazda Protege, Nissan Sentra, Volkswagen Fox, Chev Cavalier, Honda Civic, Dodge Shadow, Plymouth Sundance, and Subaru Loyale.
See, they can make good economy cars when they want to.
Well, that's true. I mean, the only thing I can really find to say about this that I don't like is the fact that the styling is a little bit unexciting. It could have been more inspiring, I think, but it's a good performer for its class. The price is quite reasonable, and it's well planned inside. What more can I say?
Yeah, well, you're not going to get a Lamborghini Diablo in this price range. About those brakes, they were, I don't want to overstress this, but they were very, very bad. I didn't dwell on it, but I think what happened is the car that we got had been used before by somebody else, and they were really badly down. They actually, I think Ford should have given us a different car. I was very disappointed in those brakes.
Yeah, they weren't too good, and I think that a lot of people think that the cars that we get for the show are prepared very carefully. Often they're not. They've been used in a fleet somewhere for employees of the company. Often they've been to test track days and so forth with inexperienced testers and so on, and they can be thrashed a little bit by the time we get them.
That's right, and interestingly, in Japan, the Tracer and I think the Escort are going to be sold through Mazda's Autorama dealer outlet, which is, I guess, their version of Ford Mazda in Japan. So I don't know how it's going to do over there. It better be very good indeed, because the Japanese are very picky, and I don't know if they're going to sell too many over there.
Well,
I'm pessimistic about it.
It might, and it may be because it has a slightly different cachet to it. Japanese also like foreign cars, really, and the import restrictions have kept a lot of them out in recent years, but now they're selling cars like the Ford Taurus in Japan, and you see quite a lot of Tauruses.
That's true, the Taurus does sell well these days. Well, it's interesting that the Ford can make the Taurus very well indeed, all by themselves, but they seem to have the help of somebody like Mazda to make this particular type of car. It's worked out very well, but it's interesting to note that.
It applies to everybody, really. All manufacturers, I think, there's something that's never quite been grasped, and I think that decades of working on big cars and gearing all the expertise up to big cars has worked against the North American manufacturers in that respect.
In this case, it worked for them. Well, to sum up, what don't we like about it? Brakes were very bad in this car, but maybe it was just an aberration, I don't know. Road noise, again, always a problem in these lower priced cars. Rear seat room was very, very good on the other hand, and assembly quality was surprisingly good, and it had a nice, roomy trunk. Driving dollar value, I'm going to give it a full tank because I think this is a very good car for the money.
We'll be back after